Hello Lima, brought to you by Good Food Restaurant, home of Happy Days, Beer Barrel, and Old City Prime. Also by Mercy Health Partners, the Tom family of dealerships, 318 Restaurant and Bar, Lima Pallet Company, and M&W Construction.
Welcome, Lima, to another episode of Hello Lima. My name is Jerome O'Neill, your host, and today we're excited to bring to you the chair of this year's Jefferson Award Committee, Mr. Chris Jackson. Joining him will be two winners that bring sort of a different perspective of what it takes to build a healthy community. We have young Kylie Engel that started Students Against Human Trafficking Club in her school, and we also have Deb Helser, who has been running an all-volunteer pet rescue program in Lima since 2008. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to start with you, if I could, Mr. Committee Chair. You're no stranger to Lima, both in terms of what you've done, and you've tried to come back from Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and you're also a past Jefferson Award winner. As the chair, and if you just take a look at the two winners that we have with us today, that had to be a hard task.
And it is, and I've been on the committee for several years, and we get several entries and several nominations, and just going through them, we sit back 30 to 40 of them just going through. And proud of these two winners here, but there's just numerous people in the community that are doing some great things. But this year, these are two of the ones that actually stuck out to the committee.
Yeah, yes, and as committee chair, and I certainly don't want to take your thunder, the program is coming up. We're going to be an exciting program this year, and we get the opportunity to talk to a few before it sort of gets rolled out. I'd like to pivot a little bit and talk to you, Kylie, if I could. And boy, I'm looking at some of the things, Kylie, that you've done as a senior at Walpock High School, but certainly your background is student council, vice president of your class, Miss Ohio, placed third pageant. You're also the principal's club and the student senate. So I'm going like, Kylie, before we even get to the point of why you were a Jefferson winner, what motivates you to do the kind of impact that you have at such a young age?
Honestly, it comes down to my parents. My mother is the director of children's services, actually, and she has always taught me since I was little to go and be a leader. Both of my parents always said that every time I get out of the car to go to school, and it was one of those things I laughed off, but it truly impacted me in everything that I do. And I've just had the opportunity at school to have so many clubs that I'm able to join, and I've always really had a passion for law and the criminal justice system, so it's always really interested me to join student senate and class offices.
Well, Kylie, everybody has a lot of clubs that they can select. Not everybody do so. So even as a National Honor Society student, your parents have been the sort of the driving catalyst behind the involvement that you've had. Let me read something to you, if I could. Lima, give you an impact in terms of what her Jefferson Award has been in terms of how it's impacted the community. It says Department of Justice has some statistics, and sometimes we get so caught up in everyday life, we don't think about the impact. Kylie, some of the things that are going on around us that are not very, what we'd call, they're not cool, they're not nice. This is what a quote I want to get your feedback on it, Kylie. While unthinkable to most of us, sex trafficking of children is real and organized. We must recognize the unthinkable and report suspicious activity for the sake of our most vulnerable. Lima Police Department has been investigating allegation of trafficking for some time. So before I pivot to this came from something that I got a sense of you, Kylie. You may choose to look away. This may sound familiar, but never again can you say that you did not know. That's a quote that you kind of has been a catalyst to start Student Trafficking Club.
Yes.
Can you go into that, Kylie?
Yeah, so my freshman year of high school, I actually attended a youth conference, and they had an underlining theme of the justice experience.
Kylie, go back. Your freshman year of high school.
Yes.
Right? So my freshman year of high school, I was trying to figure out whether or not the spitball would get all the way to the teacher's desk. Tell us again what you're doing. I think the community needs to be proud and hear this. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So I was at a youth conference that was actually a Christian conference, but it was more that you could attend different leadership seminars and just any classes that you wanted to be able to take back to your school and just have an impact as a leader or whatever that may look like. But it's called Life, and I actually, while I was there, it was instead of going out to the pool that day, but I went to the Justice Experience where they had a display of labor trafficking situations, and they actually had us carry 100-pound coffee bean bags to simulate as if we're on a coffee bean farm. And then it had us sitting at sewing machines, and then it had us walk through a sex trafficking display.
And your position was, after that, you decided not to look away.
Right, exactly.
You decided to go back to Wall Park High School and do what, Kylie?
That's when I began my Students Against Human Trafficking Club, is because I felt that we needed to educate youth, just as I had been educated at this conference, on the risks of human trafficking before we go off to college, or even just right here in our own community, like you're saying, right here in Lima.
And it is a real issue in Lima, Auglaize County, Allen
Absolutely.
County, right, Kylie?
Yes, Ohio is the 5th leading state for this issue, actually.
Yes, and repeat that, because I had those stats
Yes.
that'll be showing up on the screen,
Yeah.
Kylie. It's the 5th state when it comes to trafficking. California's
Yes.
1, but Ohio is the 5th.
Yes, it is. It is a very sad reality, but you can actually get out of our state within 2 hours no matter where you are at. And we have a very intense highway system that can take you anywhere when you really think about it. And that is why we have this issue of human trafficking.
And Kylie, and congratulations, Committee Chair, bringing this type of talent to Lima to see and sometimes experience. Yes. So Kylie, before we pivot, can you again tell me, and I don't want to get caught up with human trafficking because it's such a dire need to have addressed in our community. I want the community to get a sense of your passion and your leadership and how you brought this to your school and how others can wrap around and do the same types of things that you've done, Kylie.
Yes, absolutely. So you can start your club at your school, actually. Operation Underground Railroad is where I started my Students Against Human Trafficking Club through. And they have given me the opportunity to have a voice in my school, to include other high schoolers to join in this movement. And I hope with this award to actually be able to just spread this message to other schools throughout America, but also just right here in Allen County, just to have other students get involved. They can also come and join with our own fundraisers that we're hosting in Auglaize County.
That you're doing in Auglaize County.
Yes, absolutely.
That is, and we're going to get back to you, Kylie, but I think the community is not only proud in terms of what your impact you've made in terms of child human trafficking, but they're proud to call you a resident of Northwest Ohio. Deb, let me, a winner, right, Mr. Jackson?
Oh, yes.
Deb has an...
Second time.
Second time.
Second time.
It gives you a sense as a second-time recipient of the Jefferson Award, Deb, of the impact that you're making in our community. And I, for one, have been touched by the services that you provide as we've taken a dog over to your house to be rescued by somebody else, adopted by somebody else. Deb, this is an organization that really is thriving on volunteerism, which is
Absolutely.
you getting those phone calls and going out. Can you tell the community?
Yeah, it definitely, first off, I'm blessed to be able to do this.
And I don't have you here for a reason. I'm passionate about what you do.
Yeah, I am so blessed to be able to do this. My volunteers are the heart of our rescue because I can call them any time of the day or the night. We get calls 7 days a week, 12, 14, sometimes 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night for an animal that in distress that needs help. Mm-hmm. And I can call my volunteers and they always step up and help. So I'm very thankful to them, thankful to the Jefferson Committee for recognizing the work that Deb's Dogs, does. We are very, very passionate about it.
So let me skip over that part of it and let you get back to thanking the committee in a minute, Deb. Not everybody has the heart and the desire to take that 2 a.m. phone call to pick up a rescued animal. How do you've been doing this since 2008. Can you tell me about...
Well, before that, too, yeah.
What's in your heart, Deb?
My heart is, I just feel like it's part of me. It's a calling. I don't consciously get up every day and make that decision to go do what I do, but it's just part of me. And when there's animals, we try to rescue according to need. There's a lot of stray, sick, injured animals in Allen County. So we just go out there and try our best to help as many as we can. Like I said, I don't even think about it. I just do it. I just love the animals, and they are voiceless. We need to speak up for them and help them, and that's what we do.
And Deb, this is your second time as a recipient of the Jefferson Award.
Yes, I'm totally honored. I think that is an excellent, just like her. Look what she does. My goodness, that is amazing, and I'm proud of her and proud of everybody in our community, whether it's animals or people. You get up every day and you try to do something positive. Whatever you impact, you're trying your best to do something positive. And they have my respect. And like I said, whether mine's animals, but in helping animals, we also help people.
Well, Committee Chair, Chris, we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about what goes into picking some of these winners, and we're going to get a little bit more insight in terms of what Kylie and Deb has brought to the table as a Jefferson Award winner, and let the community judge themselves about how rich our community is and how blessed our community is to have this kind of talent in it. Don't go away.
You are the center of a universe. That's what we've learned in 160 years serving our community. Everybody means the world to someone. So when you're in here, or if someday you find yourself in here, and when all you can think about is the world that revolves around you, we'll be a world that revolves around you too. Mercy Health. Healthcare for the universe of you.
From early in the morning when the Happy Days stores open, turn the grills on, get the coffee turned on. Across town, the beer barrels, there's a lot of prep work that has to be done. Sauces being prepped on the stove. At Old City Prime, everything's from scratch. I think the culture in our company is that we care about our people. And in return, our people care about our customers. Thank you so much to all of our team that's worked for us, and thank you so much to all the communities that we're in for being such great customers.
We at Lima Pallet Company thank you, Lima. In 1977, we started a small family business, and today we continue to grow. Lima Pallet is a full-service pallet and crate provider. Every customer is unique, which is why we build pallets and crates to our customers' specific requirements. Because we have our own fleet of trucks, we're able to provide customers with on-time, same-day, and 24-hour emergency deliveries. Coming together is the beginning, keeping it together is progress, and working together is success. Let's continue to succeed.
If you're looking for an honest, dependable, trustworthy auto repair facility, consider Tom All for all your foreign and domestic vehicles.
Our goal is to give you such good service at such a low price that it'll knock your socks off. Our technicians have years of experience working on all types of vehicles.
Whether your car needs brakes, transmission, or engine work, diagnostic report, body work, paint repair, just routine maintenance, we can do it all.
We are a local family-owned business located on Downtown Road in Lima.
For quality work on your vehicle, take it to Tom.
Welcome back to Hello Lima. You certainly have heard some interesting stories from couple of this year's Jefferson Award winners. We are certainly happy to have them as guests today for Hello Lima. I am pleased to be able to bring to you the committee chair of the Jefferson Awards. Chris, can I pivot a little bit back to you and talk about the Jefferson Award, a couple of seconds about the impact that award has had on our community for these many years, particularly as a past recipient?
It does. I was a recipient back in 2004 and actually was the winner and had an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. to see, some other great things going on in the country. So coming back, I felt that, again, like this lady said, it was a calling, so I continue working with the youth in the community. And so it has a big impact. I think what Deb is doing, what Kylie's doing, you'll see in the future. It'll still have an impact, of course, like Deb being a two-time winner. And just for Kylie, for a young person to have the passion that she has for what she's doing, I think is going to bring big impacts, and hopefully it'll save some lives and bring attention to this cause.
That's a good point, though, Chris. And one of these recipients will end up in Washington like you were. And so not only are we proud of what you've done, Mr. Jackson, and the years of your giving to Lima and Allen County, we certainly are blessed to be able to have a committee chair like you be able to look at some of these and pick the best of the best. Kylie, one of the things, if I can go back to human trafficking, particularly child human trafficking, some of the stats that we see on the screen is 27% of trafficking victims are children. That seems to be, children are 4 times more likely to be trafficked for labor than they are for sex. 66% of child trafficking victims are girls. 66% of all trafficking victims are girls. So Kylie, you find that to be so impactful that you started a club at Walpock at such a young age. Does it continue to motivate you when you get up and say, hey, this is how I'm going to see how this club? How often do you meet and how does it touch you?
Yeah, so we actually meet every other Tuesday in the mornings before school. And at each meeting, we make it a thing to watch a video of someone's testimony, of their story, whether it's a girl or a boy, whether it's a woman or a man, because this is an issue that affects everyone. And we make sure just to discuss different topics and as well as plan our fundraisers. Right now, we're actually planning a spike ball tournament, because how can we get youth involved in our community to come and educate themselves on human trafficking, but while still taking a youthful event? And that's why we actually did a spike ball tournament in the fall as well.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you're creative in the work, because that was my next question, Kylie. How do you get young people? You are an outlier, which means you're probably the 1%er of the 1% in terms of what you bring to the table. How have you been able to get other 16, 17-year-old interested in this club?
So our club actually has a total of 5 leaders.
It's human trafficking. That's not
yes.
something that people gravitate to.
Right? No, it isn't. And it's actually something that I know I was very ignorant towards the issue in the first place. But that's why when I was able to just first talk to my friends, they were like, wait, what? It's just something that they didn't know, so they wanted to get involved. And then we talked to our other friends at school and also just the other clubs I'm involved in, just telling other youth that like to be in school clubs about this issue, and honestly just seeing how hearts have been broken towards this issue and towards these children, girls and boys.
And Mr. Jackson, Lima has its own child trafficking exploitation group. As a former police officer, you understand some of the issues that many of us don't see every day, but are impactful in our community, are part of our community fabric.
And I think a lot of people don't understand the human trafficking. They think it's a thing of sexual things, of people getting kidnapped, like Kylie mentioned earlier to us. You know, somebody driving up in a van and grabbing kids. It usually happens in the home, someone that they're familiar with in the community that gets a hold of them, that gains their trust. I also work for on the board of directors. I'm on the board for Children's Services, so a lot of that comes through Children's Services. So it's
and now what you bring from Big Brothers after you retired and got into the Big Brothers organization, Kylie did sort of make us all take a second look when she said, a lot of times, right, Kylie, it's coming from your circle of trust.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We actually even see it a lot in the foster care system. About 60% of children that are human trafficked come out of the foster care system. And
say that again?
Yeah, 60% of children that are human trafficked came out of the foster care system. And that's why my club, how can we impact our community right now? And we have done a lot of work with Children's Services. We even shopped with foster care families through a Christmas project at the Methodist Church in town, where we just got to connect with them and just help them have a great Christmas. But to us, that was impacting human trafficking.
Well, I'm not going to beat this to death as I go back to Deb and talk about your program, Deb. Kylie, I'm feeling like I need to do something with my life. Congratulations, kid, in terms of what you've been able to, in this short period of time on Hello Lima, let my audience see a sense of despair and a sense of opportunity that comes with the youth that we've got coming up. Follow me, Mr. Jackson. These are the kind of people that we're going to look for. Deb, the impact that dogs have on people's lives, and I'm using this term, follow me, the therapy dogs, the fact that, and I'm using dogs now because a lot of what you do is and I'm going to use your verbiage and I want you to speak on it, is give a voice to the voiceless.
Yes. And dogs do bring so much to people's lives. People are lonely. They need companionship, you know, and I work hard to try to, well, it's not work. I love it, to match the right animal with the right family, so it's good for everybody. But yeah, it's like they'll be lonely, and sometimes they're on a lot of medicine because they're stressed. They'll get a pet. And that just does so much for their life. They bring so much more to you than you give to them.
And Deb, I remember talking to you about it before we took our dog to you, or our parents' dog to you, to find another home that was more suitable. You said something about dog dumping, which means people will put a dog in a position where they had no other hope if it weren't for you.
Right, okay, we see a lot, really a lot lately, but over the years also, of abandoned dogs. And sadly, after you do this so long, you can kind of tell if that dog was abandoned. If a dog sits in a spot for a day or two and doesn't leave, sometimes that means their owner has put them there and they're waiting for them to come back, which is heartbreaking. But what, you know, like I said, our mission is to help the stray, injured, sick animals in Allen County, but we do take on surrenders. You know, sometimes a family member passes away and there's nobody that can take care of the pet. You know, I try really hard to help those. We're foster-based, so we don't always have room, but we lots of times make room.
When we get back, we're going to kind of we're going to take a look at your wish list. It's going to be on the screen, some things and how people can get involved with Deb's dogs. And we're going to get a little sense in terms of volunteer, what number to call, and understand that your program is impactful in our community and well needed. So, Lima, don't go away. When we come back, you're going to get some information on terms of how to get a hold of Kylie, how to get a hold of her program, and how to make that 1-800 call. Follow me, Kylie. Would they say, Mr. Jackson, when you see something, say something? We're going to talk about that when we get back, and we're going to get a little bit more information on Deb's dogs. Stay with us.
You are the center of a universe. That's what we've learned in 160 years serving our community. Everybody means the world to someone. So when you're in here, or if someday you find yourself in here, and when all you can think about is the world that revolves around you, we'll be a world that revolves around you too. Mercy Health. Healthcare for the universe of you.
From early in the morning when the Happy Days stores open, turn the grills on, get the coffee turned on. Across town, the beer barrels, there's a lot of prep work that has to be done. Sauces being prepped on the stove. At Old City Prime, everything's from scratch. I think the culture in our company is that we care about our people. And in return, our people care about our customers. Thank you so much to all of our team that's worked for us, and thank you so much to all the communities that we're in for being such great customers.
If you're looking for an honest, dependable, trustworthy auto repair facility, consider Tom All for all your foreign and domestic vehicles.
Our goal is to give you such good service at such a low price that it'll knock your socks off. Our technicians have years of experience working on all types of vehicles.
Whether your car needs brakes, transmission, or engine work, diagnostic report, body work, paint repair, just routine maintenance, we can do it all.
We were a local family-owned business located on Downtown Road in Lima.
For quality work on your vehicle, take it to Tom.
Welcome back to Hello Lima. It's been an interesting topic full of what we call information that you may not want to know, and information that I think has been somewhat underground, which is dumping dogs, abandoned dogs, and have an opportunity to where to take those dogs if you do see them. You're going to see on your screen also, Deb, a little bit of your wish list, things that you're looking for. Can you expand a little bit on that wish list? You know, a late minivan, donations, volunteer?
Okay. We are all donation-based.
The whole program, 501c3.
Yes, so any donations we get, anybody that wants to donate a bag of towels, a bag of dog food, I appreciate everything, because that also helps that person to understand they are lending a hand and helping us. So I say yes to all those donations because we can use them and we appreciate them. Yet we have a food bank where a lot of the donated, we use it for our animals in the rescue first, and then the rest goes into the food bank.
And I don't want to lose the time on this, though, because I think it's important. Obviously been touched by Deb's dogs. Foster homes. Deb, how do they work? I mean, it's
Well, okay, we are foster-based, and what that means is that people will take our rescues into their home, treat them like they're their own. The good part about that is there's a lot of positive points, but they get to know the dog, and then that way when somebody's interested in adopting, I can tell them, the dog, likes cats or kids, so that way we can get a good fit.
Just like you can be a foster parent, you can be a foster pet. Is that what you're saying, Deb?
Right, yeah, all of our animals are fostered because we don't have a facility. So when I put them in a foster home to stay there till they find their forever home, those families love them and take care of them like they're their own.
Oh, that's great, though. Kylie, I'm going to ask a question real quick, and give me your honest feedback. So what do you want to do when you grow up?
Yes, so I plan to major in criminal justice with a double minor in global studies and psychology, and I'm currently an intern at the prosecutor's office in Auglaize County because I hope to become an attorney and focus on human rights. And I hope to one day, the end goal is own my own women's shelter.
Of course it is. And I don't mean to be condescending. I'm talking about how proud not only we as here as being able to hear you speak, and certainly what you do, Deb, is but able to see young people. Sometimes we get to the point that it's never going to work because young people don't have, and Kylie, you're a breath of fresh air in terms of what your goals are, not only as a Jefferson Award recipient, but just the heart that you bring for something that many of us. How would you say, Deb, we would look the other way if we ever had face-to-face with it?
Right.
And that is,
well, she sets by
child.
example, and that is what is important. People see you. That's why you have multiple people involved, because they see your passion, and they want to join in because they want to do help to do the right thing.
To do things that Kylie's doing.
Right.
And having said that, though,
Right.
Kylie, your number is going to be on the board. Also, a phone number in terms of, it's not your number, but it's a number to call for human trafficking. It's a number that's going to be able to, you can text, and that number that's going to be on the screen is going to be help 233-733, which is Be Free. Part of that discussion, Kylie, is how do people get involved? And I think I want to leave it there with you being able to explain how do we get involved to do the things that you're doing with regards to child human trafficking.
Yeah, whether it's starting your own club at your school, but also the Salvation Army actually does a lot of work with women's shelters and even human trafficking survivors. So getting involved with them, as well as Grace Haven, which is in Columbus, but they have a lot of opportunities to be an ambassador. So to talk about this issue at your workplace, at your job, wherever it is, and also just watching out for one another, being aware of the risks, as well as just protecting your friends and your family, and just being aware no matter where you're at. And I just hope that you're able to find help if you're someone who is struggling today or who is in a situation like this that we've talked about. But I just want you to know that you are seen, and that there are just so many places that truly want to help you.
That's been exciting from the standpoint that you are out there being an advocate, and you're going to look like you're going to be an advocate going forward for human trafficking. And we appreciate that, Kylie. We appreciate what you're doing, Deb. We appreciate certainly what you've done, Mr. Washington, Jefferson Award recipient for the community. So it is exciting. And I would like to, again, thank today's guest. I would like to be able to get a couple of the Jefferson Award winners that are making a difference in our community and just run them up a flagpole and have an opportunity to showcase them to the community, which I was able to do today. I'm sharing on the screen now, again, some contact information on today's topic. If you see something, say something in the area of human trafficking. On the screen, you have contact numbers 233-733, which is Be Free. And contributions, I want to say this. So contributions to Deb's dogs are tax deductible. See Deb's email address on the screen, as well as a phone number, how to get a hold of her. And as always, you can make a difference in your community. Hello, Lima.
Hello Lima, brought to you by Good Food Restaurant, home of Happy Days, Beer Barrel, and Old City Prime. Also by Mercy Health Partners, the Tomaw family of dealerships, 318 Restaurant and Bar, Lima Pallet Company, and M&W Construction.